Hey y'all, welcome to Shirley McCall Motivation. My name is Shirley and I plant seeds of hope everywhere I go. Take a deep breath. Woo! Listen, like sometimes before I make a video, I have to kind of like hype myself up a little bit. And it's not necessarily because I don't know what I'm going to say or, what I want to say or how I'm going to say it. Like I know these things just because they naturally come to me. But sometimes, it's like, before a game, you got those rituals, right? Those rituals you do to get you in that space because hey, it's game time. It's time to put up them points. But I hope you guys are doing good. I'm doing amazing today. I'm well rested. Probably ate a little bit too much, so if I sound like I'm huffing and puffing, it's because my eyes were bigger than my stomach, as my mother would say, and I ate a little bit too much. But I'm coming off of my body really healing the last couple days, so I haven't really had like a solid meal other than a salad or fruit, which I think is like really light. So I had my first really solid meal, and I think I did too much. But I'm grateful. So today we are going to talk about lying. And I honestly, for real talk, I wasn't sure what I was going to talk about. However, I knew that, and I had a couple ideas in mind as far as some things I did want to talk about, but I wasn't sure, and I was kind of going back and forth about it for a couple days, like, oh, what I need to talk about this, and the last time it's like I wrote a script out, and even though like when I speak, I'll speak, I'll just say it off the dome, because I tried to do the whole script thing, reading off a teleprompter and all that other stuff, like on the phone, and to me, I'm like, it just didn't sit with me. The flow, I need to just be, and I've been getting more and more comfortable with just being. But I had a situation that happened to me where lying, I was going to lie, I was crafting the lie, and I had to think to myself, and I'm just like, girl, what are you doing? We're beyond this. And I wanted to talk about it because first off, it's something that I'm for real, I'm having to deal with, and I've had to dealt with it. And I don't want to do it no more. I don't. And the reason why I wanted to bring it up was because we have to stop lying to ourselves. Like, full stop. And when I say full stop, I'm talking about big lies, small lies, white lies, feel good lies. Like, we have to stop lying to ourselves. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, there was a situation where there was some money on the line. And I was like, I could lie and say such and such so that way I can get my money. However, I was like, it just didn't sit with me. It didn't sit with me. And in my mind, when I was thinking about the lie and how I was going to craft it, and even just how I was going to bring other people into it too, to be like, hey, I need you to say this, and this. And I had to just be honest with myself, where I'm just like, is this worth it? Is this who you are? Is this who you are? Because the more and more, I coach, I go on my own healing journey, I learn more about myself, I go deeper and deeper when it comes to getting back to who I am authentically. When I first came into this world, I wasn't lying. What did I have to lie about? I was thinking about this show. Y'all remember the show, Kids Say the Darndest Things? And, you have an adult host and it's asking kids, these most basic questions about the, family and just different situations. And everyone was just so enthusiastic about how the children were just so truthful. And the more I thought about it, the more I was just like, we came into this world on truth. We didn't come into this world based on a lie. So as a child, yes, children say the darndest things just because they are authentically themselves. They don't know about lying yet. They haven't been introduced to that concept. So when you ask them a question, they're gonna tell you, they're gonna be honest with you, because that's all they know. That's who they are. Society hasn't hit them to the point, or just the social programming hasn't hit them to the point where they're going to think of a lie. Because you have to think about your earliest versions of when you told a lie, when you started telling lies, and why. And how did you even know that was something that you could or wanted to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, and when you think about that, you're like, wow, okay. Lying is a learned behavior. It's learned behavior. It's nothing authentic about it, because authenticity stands on truth, not on lies. And so, when I think about, me as a child and just some of my earliest memories of when I would lie, it was out of shame. It was out of fear. And now that I'm an older person, I have to now really be honest with myself about what lies have I been telling myself. Because even in this situation that I was in and that I was going through, and I was thinking about how I could craft this lie to my benefit, I had to realize this is not to my benefit. I'm lying because there is something of lack there. And I cannot walk around with this energy and this aura that I have and stand in this truth and do all this healing work if I have to lie about something so small and so simple. If I am everything I say I am, if I am worthy, if I am whole, I don't need to lie about anything, because what belongs to me belongs to me. And I'm going to be provided with all of my needs. So, yeah, maybe I may have left some money on the table. And honestly, I'll take accountability for that. But I didn't leave nothing on the table, because I got it back in a different way. So I say that because we have to start being honest with ourselves, even when it comes to the small things. And when I think about like the earliest version of me lying, I think, we were living in, I think we were living in Virginia. We had just moved to Virginia as a child. And we didn't have a lot of money. It was, 5 kids? My parents had, it was 5 of us. I'm the second oldest of 5. And so we didn't have a lot of money. And I could remember my mother taking us to this shelter. It was around Christmas time. And, the concept of Christmas really, I knew of it, but I really didn't. You see a lot of things on TV. And TV really kind of shapes your reality, or what you think is your reality. And my mother had taken us to this like Salvation Army type place where we had this little dinner with all these other kids too as well. And I was like, wow, this is fun. And it was a Christmas tree that was there, and it was a bunch of little presents. And I remember the lady was like, hey, you can only take one thing, only take one present. And of course I was grateful. But I can remember, taking my little present, whatever it was, and being happy. I was excited about it. But I can remember going to school the next day, or maybe not too long after that. And I was in the classroom and the kids are all going around talking about, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this. And I started to shrink again. And so I was like, I got a bike, I got clothes, I got all these toys, because I wanted to feel like I belonged. And it was like one of the first times I felt like, I was like, wow, like this, I'm not having the same experience as everybody else up in here. But that was one lie. And then, going throughout school, I can remember being in elementary school, and there was a time and point where there was some stuff that was going down in my household that was not good. And I can remember, I know I was probably no more than 7 or 8 years old. I can remember me and my brothers and sisters walking to our bus stop, and me and my older sister in particularly, just because at this point in time, our radars were already open because we had already been exposed to some things that we shouldn't have seen. And I can remember us coaching our younger brothers and sisters on how to lie, and that when they went to school, to not say certain things, because we knew that if they did say something, that could result in us being broken up as a family, and we didn't want that. So even when I think about my earliest memories and my earliest, habits I had to form out of lies, it wasn't out of love. It was out of shame. It was out of fear. It was out of survival. And I got to remember, I'm not in that place no more. I'm thriving. Everything I want and I ask for, I can get, and it's going to be given to me. So what do I have to lie about? Do I want this money? Yes, I do want this money. Especially, I put in my what is it called? My letter of resignation, so I can stop teaching algebra next year. So I'm not going to be teaching full time. And so, in my mind, I'm thinking like, okay, you got this, you got this, you got this, Shirley. What about this, Shirley? And so I'm lying because I'm thinking that God won't show up. And that, hey, girl, remember, hey, when is your last check coming through? And I'm just like, nah, I'm good. What I gotta lie about? I'm not fearful. I don't feel shame. I'm not in survival mode anymore. I'm thriving. So I live in this state of abundance now. And trust me, it's taken me some time to get here. And I just wanted to let you know, stop lying. And start with just the little things. If you don't like something, if something doesn't feel right, say it. You don't have to say it. You don't have to be rude or nasty about it. Like, say it with love. Say it with conviction. Say it with grace. But just make sure it's the truth and it's what you want, and you know that it can stand on its own. You don't need to falsify nothing about yourself. You don't need to create no type of stories for somebody else to remember. Because honestly, I had to even just stop. I'm like, girl, you're spending too much energy trying to figure out this lie right now, when you could just be honest and use this energy and take it into something else. But listen, I'm learning. It's a journey, and I'm here for it. And honestly, like, even when I stepped into that power of me realizing that, I got notification, oh, this is coming through. I'm like, I wasn't expecting that. But again, you lack nothing. You're worthy. And don't worry about, if this ain't done, nah, you good. Everything that's going to come to you is coming to you. You ask and you shall receive. So get out of that energy of lying. because it doesn't serve you, not where you're going. It can't take you where you're going. And where I'm going, I don't need to lie, because the universe always provides, especially for a goddess like me. But, even with, through this whole situation, I got my topic for the week. And I was going back and forth about it too, but I'm just like, look at God. Just step into your power. Remember who you are. If you don't know who you are, go on the journey to find out. Because she's there. She's just waiting on you. My hubby got me these flowers. Aren't they nice? I never really was a flower girl, but as I get more and more into like the softness of me, I'm like, I love flowers. I love flowers. But I hope that helps someone today. Remember your power. Love, love.